Good morning, gang. Happy Thursday morning. So imagine this. You wake up in the morning and let's say it's tomorrow. And you go in, you look at your bank account online to make sure your paycheck hit, right? It's Friday. And all of a sudden, you can't access your bank account at all. It's like, oh, system must be down or something like that. I'll check it an hour later. Check it an hour later, nothing. So eventually you call the bank. The bank's like, sorry, there's nothing there. There's nothing left. What do you mean? I have an account. My savings are in there. I should have got paid. Yeah, well, no, not going to happen anymore. Yeah, we've talked about this for years, the whole prepper community, not just me, about seizure of your assets. A lot of you guys talk about going back to the 30s when the government made owning gold and silver illegal, right? This is coming again, whether or not you see it, whether or not you're paying attention to it. And I'm not saying coming as in it might happen. I'm saying coming as it's already happening. Just wait till it gets here. You guys remember a couple of years ago when in Lebanon, the government basically shut down all the banks, right? Sorry, you can't do anything. There was that story about the woman who went in to rob a bank. She got arrested for robbing a bank, and she goes, I don't want to rob the bank. I just want my own money, right? That's literally where we are. I talked earlier this week about Europe and their biometrics, the digital ID that's going to be required. I got a kick out of the fact that there was a whole bunch of people complaining that Europe is now going to take pictures of Americans traveling in Europe and fingerprint us, if we go over there on a vacation or something. Oh, okay. Not like the United States hasn't been doing that to the rest of the world for decades, but oh my God, we've got to be all upset that somebody else is going to do it too. Just kind of funny how people don't get all the facts. But let's take a look at what's happened here recently. Vietnam. Oh, okay, you know what? We're not that similar to Vietnam. But, okay. The government has now deactivated, get this, 86 million bank accounts from people that were not compliant with submitting to their biometric ID system, okay? As in, sorry, you're not going to give us your fingerprints, your DNA, your facial recognition. We're just seizing your bank account. Okay? Going back to my original premise, what happens if you wake up and that happens? This is where they're taking us to. Nah, but pinball, we're not that close to Vietnam, third world country, yada, yada, yada. Oh, okay. Let's talk about what Canada just pulled off. Canada, all right? Royal Canadian Mounted Police just seized $56 million worth of crypto by shutting down a crypto exchange, okay? No different. It's called Trade Ogre. No different than a Coinbase or a Robinhood or something like that, where you might want to buy crypto, okay? Their reasoning that the exchange didn't register all their client identities. Basically, if you take that, we can't track what these people are doing with their money, we're not going to allow them to have it. Right? Okay? That's it. You should be able to have accounts that nobody else can see, including the government. And I know somebody's going to go, you're talking about Swiss bank accounts or, having secret accounts in the Bahamas or, Cayman Islands or something. No, I'm just saying that we need to be able to have some privacy in our lives. It's nobody's business, including the government's, other than taxes, what I do with my money. If I buy a spare tire for my lawnmower, or I go out and buy a 12-pack of beer. It's nobody's business. They don't need to be tracking that. Okay? And I know the objections all come in. Well, this is how they protect people from laundering money and drug cartels. Trust me, the cartels aren't using the banking system. You're not writing a check to the dealer on the corner, okay? They're not taking credit cards. Just giving you a point, okay? This is totally meant for control. And as we've said it before, the digital ID stuff, oh, you just need it to go to work. Right. Just like 15 years ago, we heard, we just want to get married. And look where we are today. Okay. Give them an inch, they'll take a mile. No question. So it goes back to what I've said, many others have said for years about protecting yourselves. All right. Having at least some of your assets off grid. Okay. Sure, there's all sorts of people who talk about get a gold and silver IRA, or buy an ETF, or store your gold and silver in so-and-so's vault. No. If you don't hold it, you don't own it. Okay? I understand that, granted, we don't hold the money in our bank account or our brokerage account or wherever. I get that. But you should have some that you hold. Cash, gold and silver, a cold wallet for your crypto, whatever it would be, where it is not accessible to anybody but you. Before anybody says, yeah, they could break into your house, I get it, okay? Nothing in life is perfect. But imagine waking up tomorrow morning and your bank account has gone poof. Your brokerage account has gone poof. Your crypto account has gone poof. This is the slippery slope that we face with this digital ID crap. And it's not a pie-in-the-sky, tinfoil hat-wearing wacko idea. It's actually happening, that they are forcing it on people. Keir Starmer said in Great Britain, you aren't going to be able to work unless you have a digital ID. You aren't going to be able to get on a plane. You aren't going to be able to get on a bus, on a train, anything. You're not going to be able to cash a check unless you have a digital ID. That kind of sounds like mandatory to me, doesn't it? As they say, well, you don't have to do this. You don't have. Gee, if I want to be able to buy groceries, because that's coming, it's going to be required. This goes back to, if you will, the old Soviet ideas of here's your ration cards, here's your internal passports, here's everything. Papers, please, right? This is where we get to with this stuff. And granted, it's not paper, it's show me your cell phone. And we don't realize how we are being groomed to accept this. I mean, a digital economy. As I said the other day, we pay our bills online. We run our debit card or our credit card through. Very few people pay in cash. And there are a lot of places that don't even accept it anymore. I told you about going to the concert in the spring. And they didn't even take cash for a beer and a hot dog. So you get situations like that. But when you have to start flashing your phone or whatever apparatus it turns out to be, because there's plenty of people that don't have smartphones. Yes, I get it. Okay. How are they going to function? How are you going to function? Imagine, some of this silly stuff that you do. Imagine having a garage sale and somebody's got to pay you via Venmo or something, or PayPal, because that's the only thing that's allowed. And then Uncle Sam comes in and says, oh, you made $142 in sales at your garage sale? That's taxable income, right? Or you sit down for a poker game with your buddies and you're all on your phone. I raised $2 on your phone, right? That's lots of fun. Pick something. There's a lot of uses that we still have for physical everything. Physical books, physical currency, you name it. They're trying to digitize everything for one reason only, and that is control. If it's all digital and we control the access, they only get what we give them. What does that sound like? It sure as hell doesn't sound like freedom or liberty to me. Pinball out.